Yeah. Now, unlike last year's performance contracts, there is a paradigm shift to output-based performance contracts. As you are aware, iko watu wanaitwa Gen Z who are now demanding accountability for results more than ever. And at that point, I want to ask the powers that be, including my president, Mr. President, wake up and smell the coffee. I have listened to you and I have heard what you are trying to do. Those are outdated methods. Maneno ya kuleta Raila, wa Kenya walichoka zamani, ameletwa mara mingi. Hiyo maneno ya kuleta akina Kalonzo, Mr. President, this is a new dispensation, and it, you know, believer, and I know you read the Bible, the story about new wine and old wine skins. It will not work. It is important, if you are dealing with new wine, we deal with new wine skins. Let us look at what we are doing as a country. It is time to listen to Kenyans. It's not to bulldoze them. We saw our president come out one day on fire, and we wondered, Mr. President, do you know whom you are talking to? The Gen Z have no business listening to threats. It's time to talk to them. Do not try to bring outdated old methods for new problems. New problems will require new solutions. And Wazungu say, when you try to do things the same way and expect different results, you ingine munaelewa. Mine is to say, even for ourselves as we do, as a county government, we must be a listening government that will listen and engage with the citizenry. We cannot wake up and start kifua, apana. It's talk to them, listen to them. And I will tell you this, even in your own homes, you will be shocked. These are not the days you used to come home with a pair of jeans and tell your son, nimekununulia jeans, utavaa wewe. It is time to sit and engage. Mnataka jean ama wanakuambia ndio lakini leta pesa tukajinunuli. Wewe unakuja na jean mzuri lakini wao wanataka ile iko na mashimo huko. Na wewe umenunua ile mzuri unaita ati, yeah, this is the Levi's we used to wear when we were young. They laugh at you, they tell you, hiyo ni yako, leta pesa, anakuja na ingine iko na shimo hapa, iko ingine shimo hapa, wewe unakaa tu unasema, okay, please, hiyo shimo irudi. To the Gen Zs, there are no two ways at their point of need. If indeed any of their demands is crazy, let us explain to them. But if there is development expenditures, this is something we must be doing. Number two, for us, what we had now yesterday should have been something that we were able to track. We selected these projects, we started working on them, they were advertised this particular time, they were tendered, they were done. You know, it's a transparency. As usual, ladies and gentlemen, even for ourselves and for you, do not underestimate the power of those people. You will assume them, you will shoot them, you will push them, but I can tell you, like they say, the harder you push, the greater they become. When you think, just like, and you know, it is important that this country realizes this is a reemergence of the youth of the 1950s that went fighting for us. This is the same way they started and went to the forest and brought us independence. So let us engage with them. Let us listen to them. They are our children. Let us stop calling them KFC eaters. Let us stop using those derogatory terms that we are, because those are leaders who have lost touch with the ground. If you are in touch with the ground, you will know that those young men and women mean business. They have been to school. They have degrees. You cannot offer them jobs. All you are telling them is that they become masons. Who told you that is exactly why they went to school? It's not the way to handle. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to ensure accountability for every shilling we receive. And therefore, I expect a high level of accountability in all the county projects and programs. And this should be demonstrated through value addition and also resonate with the expectations of the citizen. None of us is here, including myself, to serve their own interests. We are here to serve the interests of the people of Nyeri, who woke up one morning, voted for me and my deputy, voted for my MCAs, voted for my MPs. We are here for them, not to tell them what to do, but to serve them. And that is the difference. When you start talking to the electorate, instead of listening to them, you get where we are as a nation. But however, they say power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. Let us check and watch that. None of us is immune to that. Sometimes there are small devils who talk to us when you are sleeping and they tell you, Mr. Governor, you are just second to God. You are a big man because everywhere you pass, everybody calls you Your Excellency. No, don't allow those titles get into you. Mr. Chief Officer, Mr. CEC, Mr. Director. You cannot see people because you are too senior. No, it shouldn't. See the people, talk to them, let them give you their... And you know, from experience I can tell you, the people you see here, they are not interested in what you have. They are interested in giving you their problems and telling you how you can solve them. Let us engage with them. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, may I also emphasize the importance of teamwork and continuous engagement within all departments. Let us improve our inter and intra communication to ensure we economize on the scarce resources. Sometimes I wonder when I look at people who are all going to Naivasha for a meeting, but we have to take 37 vehicles there because every officer must travel in a vehicle, feeling good about it. Feeling good about it. Okay, I have nothing to say because it's your right. But then you are the first person to tell me, Governor, we have no fuel. And I want to laugh at you. And I said, if you are a wise man, ungeambia Thuo, sinaona uko na nafasi, why don't we travel together? And we go talking. Urarue hiyo mafuta yako ikae. Sababu hata ikibaki, hutaniletea, si bado ni yako. So those are some of the things, but human beings, ego. That is why I try my level best to set the best example. How many vehicles do I use? How many people know how I travel? I have one vehicle and one other vehicle, 2 vehicles. Oh, I'm told by chief, oh, Governor, that is not allowed. You need to have another one just in case ile itaharibika. Alafu uko na ya askari, uko na ya press. So, Governor akitoka hapa ako na gari 60. Na mimi niko kwa gari kamo. In fact, when we are going somewhere with my DG, ni vile tu tunaambiwa na sheria tusiende pamoja. I want him to sit next to me, tuende tukiongea. Yani tukitoka hatutakuwa deputy na governor, sababu tumeenda na gari moja, tutakuwa tumebadilika. These are some of the things we need to ask ourselves. As public servants, do we really need all that? Anyway, let me conclude by giving the following policy directions. Number 1, unless adequately funded, and I think this one, CS, you need to pick up because it should be followed by a circular. Unless adequately funded, departments are discouraged from starting new projects before completing the ongoing and the stalled projects. We do not want white elephants in Nyeri. So can we complete? And I want to give an example. When I took over from Governor Wamadhai, I completed every project that Governor Derito started, true or not true. Do we have any pending? So even within yourself, kindly follow up and complete. If the MCA comes and there is a pending, we must complete those pending projects. Sio tunawacha kitu for example, you go to a place where I'm an MCA aliondolewa. We had started a dispensary. Na tumejenga imebaki tu kuweka roofing. Si muweke na yeye aende aseme ni mimi nili. You understand? Kwa sababu now if we leave it, it is a waste. Number 2, we have a big challenge with the disposal of idle and unserviceable, obsolete and surplus assets by way of sale, transfer to other public institutions, donation, destruction or other authorized methods of disposal. in full conformity to the existing legal requirement has not taken place for the last 4 years. There are so many things that we need to deal with. Agriculture, magari mumejaza kila pahali. Take them to the village polytechnics. Let them train mechanics there using these vehicles. If we can sell them, let us sell them. Akina Getobu and your team, the disposal unit, so that we get rid of, like now, niliona, I have seen new seats. Mumenunua viti vipya vya boardrooms. What is happening to the old ones? Are you selling them? Are you starting to, or they started disappearing one after the other? Huh? Now I direct that over and above unserviceable vehicles whose stock taking has started recently, an action plan for the disposal of obsolete and surplus assets should be developed within 14 days, detailing the inventory and methodology of their disposal from all departments. This will help us to raise surplus revenue for the county. So everything that we are not using, can we document now and come up with a committee to do that? Chief officers, that is the first thing I want. Number 3, it is noted that the county has not been submitting quarterly public complaints and resolutions to the Office of the Commission of Administration of Justice. They are always writing to us. We are required to promptly address and resolve public complaints referred to us and directly or channel them through the Commission of Administrative Justice, the CAJ, which will issue a certificate. I know we have been doing this promptly, but we have failed to document and channel our quarterly reports to CAJ. I therefore direct that with effect from the first quarter that ends on 30th September, the county secretary compile and submit the county report using the agreed template and submit it to CAJ for further action. Number 4, this year the county will be implementing the KDSP Program 2. Under this program, we have complied by meeting the minimum conditions by signing, number 1, the participation agreement and developing the annual work plan, cash flow plan, the budget, and I'm informed that the departments have been assigned targets for financial year 2024-2025 as factored in the approved work plan. One of the critical indicators will be to increase the county-owned source revenue by 5% and also factor inflation by the end of the financial year. This applies to all revenue streams. All departments have a stake in this, and I expect full enforcement and compliance to realize the set target. This must also be followed by monthly reviews. Many others that the department will implement under the KDSP2 program. And CECs, and they guided in the setting of the PC targets. I direct that all departments fully implement all KDSP2 activities to enable the county to get maximum incentives from the program grants. And I think we have, is it Naomi? Yes, and chief officer there, now Waziri, you monitor. Now, monitoring of the ongoing and completed projects in the county is very weak. There is no monitoring policy and lack of capacity to undertake monitoring. I therefore direct the Performance Management Unit to develop an action plan on the establishment and development of a county monitoring and evaluation policy and establish a county monitoring and evaluation secretariat that will comprise departmental monitoring and evaluation officers by 30th of August. What was happening yesterday in the county assembly should not happen again. Because if you had this, monitoring, knowing what is happening, we are able to tell who has gotten stuck somewhere, and we take the necessary action. Tuko pamoja. Number 7, the unit should also develop an action plan for evaluating county projects and programs annually and submit it to my office for further direction. Lastly, as I conclude, I reiterate that performance contracting is a government policy that places all departments and county institutions in the annual process. This includes all water company boards. You know, you are now reporting to the Senate. True or not true? I'm talking to the CEOs. And I would appreciate if I could see them standing so that we know they are wanatusikiliza. Now, and even the municipal board, the county public service board, all of you, you are now scrutiny. Very soon you are going to be called at the Senate, and some of you have been there. Mawasco has been there, Tewasco has been there, Nyewasco has been there. Omwasco has also been there. Na Ruwasco bado. But the others have been there. Now, as such, I'm now directing the Governor Delivery Unit and this Performance Management Unit to undertake training for you and your directors and your top staff to negotiate, vet, and agree on the annual targets for all boards I have mentioned. This should be done by 30th of August, 2024. Tunaelewana wa mwea? I want it done with them so that everybody now is on that level. All right? Is it too complicated? Thank you very much. Lastly, but not last, there is a new vigor and public awareness of their rights. As a government, we must be sensitive to the needs and aspirations of the citizenry of Nyeri. This will help avoid the demonstrations you have seen that have rocked this country. We must be responsive to wananchi and be willing and available to provide all required information. Can you turn to your neighbor and say, it's only by God's grace that I'm in this position? I am neither the best nor am I the only one. Exactly. Because sometimes we forget. We think that you are the only, hakuna mtu mwingine angekuwa county secretary isipokuwa wewe. There were thousands and thousands, but you got the opportunity. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I wish you the very best and as I congratulate those who have done the PCs, they must know that even going further, we want these PCs to involve the sub-county administrators, the ward administrators. We want every one of us to be on board. And as we get there, can we ask ourselves that very, very important question? Do my actions every day help Nyeri County deliver on its mandate? Or am I the person who is always complaining like a donkey? You know a donkey upatie chakula bado iko hi ho hi. Lunch time hi ho hi. So tell me, Mutai Kahiga is here. Kingori, whom do I go to complain to? Mwenda athie kanegenera udiji no ayoke kuri ni ajene muramugia ni nguthie kwira u mwenda ajire u no weta we uri atiriri. When you wake up every morning, it's like you have an agenda. Leo nitakasirisha watu watano, nitaongea mbaya kwa wawili, why? Why? When you have come here to do a job, it is so clearly stipulated, from A to A, do that, do that, do that. As simple as that. Then you walk out of this place, upitia kwa gate, uchukue ile vitu ulikuwa umewacha asubuhi, uende nyumbani nazo. Tunaelewana? So mine is to wish you the very best. Do not be that cog in the wheel that always wakati inaenda kuzunguka yako inateguka kitu, inatoa mgurudumu mzima, so that we can't move. But when everybody is doing what they should and we are moving together, everything becomes so easy. Life becomes easy. We are able to focus. Tuko na shida na mambo ya pombe. Director, my direction are very simple. Maneno ya watu wanasema wanafungua pombe na wengine wanafunga, it is all in your docket. Mimi ninataka unaketi na wale, kuna kamati zako. We have agreed we are doing public participation, I think it is in the newspapers today, for setting up of regulations on the implementation of the new act. Involve the public, let us get there. As we are speaking now, we have said it would have been very cruel for us to say all bars to suspend selling until we complete the regulations. But we have said no. We are going to allow those bars that you have approved, and I use the word approved. We are not going to have a marathon, I don't care, everybody register. You must do what you are supposed to do, even, until, and I think this is what they say in law, there is never a lacuna, there is never a vacuum. If we have not operationalized the new act, the old one is still in force. In terms of inspection, in terms of you are not just going to allow everything to go on the way, you know, we are making political statements. We are trying to focus everything around the deputy president, but we are forgetting the deputy president has only 2 sons and a wife. Na hawakunywi. Wale wanakunywa ni watoto we. So as we play those politics around there, pushing and pulling, you have a duty as the director of, is it Alcohol Licensing and Control Board, to ensure that everything is moving on well. You engage with your officers on the ground, the chairpersons, even before we appoint the other ones, so that there is smooth running. You can allow, like we had said, those that meet the threshold, they can pay the 50% as you wait for the rest to be operationalized. Tuko pamoja? Yeah, but after all, why are we making so much noise about alcohol? As if alcohol kuna mtu ameandikiwa na daktari. You know, is it a drug for us to, that you, if you don't take alcohol, utakufa. So let's stop. And also the majority leader, that who have abandoned Nyeri. Yeah, they are people of Nyeri, but they are not the citizens. They are not the citizenry of Nyeri. And it is important to say that. And the more we love him more and more. So they can continue with their efforts, pushing him aside. But we have a few things to remind them. When the president was, during his swearing in, I do remember him holding a Bible in his, I think, left hand, and he vowed to protect the Constitution of Kenya. The Constitution of Kenya has established the office of the Deputy President, who is voted in by Kenyans. And we have the Deputy President in the person of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, who was voted in on the 9th of August, and went all through the processes to be declared a winner for the position of Deputy President. We are requesting the President to allow the Deputy President to be and to do what he was elected to do. I will also maybe wish, with a lot of humility and respect, address my President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and tell him, Mr. President, there are men and women around you who you could be calling advisors, but you are in the hole you are today because of the misadvice they have given you. And a wise man wakes up one morning, has a retrospection in himself, sees the way things are. It does not matter who is close to you. In politics, it is your skin that matters, and this is a nation whose hands and survival are, whose existence and survival are in your hands. It is important for you now to take action, the best action that you think should be taken. Call in your deputy, sit together, get in your cabinet, do everything that you can, bring in all your advisors, and ask yourself, is this country moving in the right direction? If you are convinced it is moving in the right direction, Mr. President, then let's move on the way you are moving. But if you are convinced there is a reason to change, I humbly request you, as a man of God, to relook at the way this country is going, refocus. You made so many promises, they will not be achieved in this kind of atmosphere. The Gen Zs have made demands. You engaged with them, they told you what they wanted. None of their demands was for you to put up 150 team to negotiate I don't know what. They have clearly told you, we do not want you to do this, they want you to do this. It is that simple. If they say that you reorganize your cabinet, kindly do. If they say you sack it, do it. There are 50 million Kenyans who can fit in those offices. But If you continue that kind of talk, that kind of push, that kind of moving away from reality, it will hit us hard, and as a country, we will lose it all. You have a golden opportunity. This is a defining moment, Mr. President. Kindly think about this nation and do the very best you can. Thank you very much.
Nation wanted. Carol, nation wanted.